Hey folks, Steve Lewis here. Relevance for Today. Got a special series I'm doing here. This is tips for podcasting and producing TV shows. So in this is going to be some quick how-to, some tutorials, 10 minutes long each. Going to be addressing some different things for podcasting as well as their TV shows, and just to give people an idea. So I thought, you know what? Hey, let's do it. Might as well. Got different equipment. As you can see, I'm surrounded by all kinds of stuff. And so it's been a 4-year journey. This didn't happen overnight, but gradually grew and kept pushing forward with being the best I could be. And every once in a while, you might see me looking over to the angle over there because, as you can see in my mirror, I have a TV screen. See, you can see that over there. I need to clean my mirror, but you see my TV screen right there. And so basically it helps keep an eye on what's going on in the show, also wearing my headsets for monitoring. But anyway, we're going to jump right in because this is really important. So we're going to be doing some 10-minute shows. Like I said, it's to give you an idea of what you can use, how you can get started, and go from there. And as always, as you've seen, or you've ever researched on YouTube, many people will tell you, start with what you have and you go from there. And of course, my first reminder in all this, I want you to remember this. If you're a Christian content creator, ministry, and so forth, never forget who you're working for. You're working for the Lord, first and foremost. So personally, I always believe in giving my best when it comes to ministry. So be sure to put your best effort in your content. It's really important. You ask yourself, would I want to listen to myself for an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes? Would I take the time to watch the video? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So always think about these different things. Not only the content that you're sharing, the content that you're sharing in your show notes and the message or the sermon, but also in the fact that if you're putting in the effort for someone to watch a video, then make sure you put the effort in to make sure you do it the best you can possibly be. And of course, if you're going to be signed up with Kingdom Community TV, hey, we're about being the best. Pastor Glenn's all about, hey, we want to reach people all around the world, which is truly a blessing. Let's reach them with good quality shows, And so that's what it's all about. So keeping God first, making sure you have your content, and always having a Bible on set, because you never know when you're going to need to get into the Word and pull out some scripture if you don't have it already in your show notes. So really important. God first, keep him first, everything else will fall into place. Sound good? And remember, everything I show you today doesn't mean you have to run out and try to buy it and try to fund it and afford it. Start with what you have, work your way up, start a little savings, and go from there. Sound good? And don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to keep up with the latest and greatest. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Stay focused on you, your show, what you want to do in your show to reach people for the Lord. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is going to be equipment. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of things that I'm going to be talking about in the tutorials, and that way I just don't rush through because there's so much to talk about. But once again, 10-minute intervals, hey, let's give you what we can in that amount of time. So first thing we're going to talk about is phones, tablets, iPads, cameras, camcorders. Okay, so for example, I've got my phone sitting right here. Okay, cell phone. You can start with your cell phone. You can actually get a tripod for your cell phone. You can clamp it right in, the little clamps. This one I got on Amazon. It's also a selfie stick, so it can go up, down, and so forth. And I'll turn it on real quick here and show you guys how easy it is to set this up. And as you can see, so remember, if the video camera, if your phone is facing you, then what you're going to get is it's going to reverse. Okay. So right now you can't see it, but the words are going to be backwards if I record. But if I turn it around, you're going to see that using the actual cameras on the back of my phone, you're going to see me better. It looks great. It's fantastic. You pull away from it, and you have a mirror or something set up so you can see where you're at, because that's really important. So you're not off center, and the quality of the cameras are always better on the back side of your phone. Okay, for example, this is the Samsung S22. So these cameras are better back here than the selfie camera on the front. So keep that in mind. So the one you have pointing at you is less quality than the actual back side. So you take that, you use a stand, you can zoom it in and out just by moving the tripod. So see how I can just get that squared up, I can move it around. I've got an adjustable piece on there and I can go, hey, Steve Lewis, Relevance for Today. And of course, as you can see, the camera that I'm using, the Sony a6400, you see how my face is zoomed out, but as soon as I move my phone, there goes my face again. And my shiny nose, because I forgot to wipe my nose to make sure my nose was nice and dry so it doesn't look all shiny in the video. But anyway, you see how that changes like that. So you get in there, use your camera. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a smartphone. Use your smartphone, get it set up so it's sturdy. Make sure it's level so that you're not taking it and you're all off at an angle. And by having a mirror or something set up, it really works out good. Get your right height. Use your phone. Hey, they work. You know what I mean? So that is using your cell phone. And later on, I'll probably talk about how being in different rooms, I'll share that with you as well, because right now the hot water heater is heating the water in the tank, and that'll be doing that for about an hour. And so, but the way that I've got everything set up, you're going to be able to hear it with the microphone and without. So I'll make sure I play that as well, because I have a microphone up here out of the picture. See if I can pull it down some so you can see it. There's my microphone sitting up here. I've got that up there pointing at me as well. One you'll hear everything in the basement, and one you won't. That's why it's very important about sound, where you record and things like that. But I don't want to get off key on that one. So another camera I've got sitting here. So cameras come in all shapes and sizes. I'm actually going to move my phone out of the way now. Okay, cameras come in all shapes and sizes. So here's a neat little camera. This is the Canon SX730HS, okay? And what's cool about this one is it has a pop-up selfie screen, okay? So pop-up selfie screen, you can set that up. I've got a little tripod here, and you can push the button and the whole thing moves, you know, make sure it's nice and level. And basically what happens with that is that will point at me. So I'll flip it around, face me, hit record, and start recording my video that way. And that's another great way, as you can see right on there. You can see my other camera set up there. That's another great way to do your shows. Cool? So you get your little compact camera and you can take them anywhere. Put a memory card in that, take it anywhere, go somewhere quiet, set up a little tripod, and go ahead and you can record your episode anywhere in the house or wherever you might be, someplace quiet, someplace that will keep your voice sounding good, and go from there. Sound good? So let's see what else we have here. Okay, so I've got another camera over here I want to show you guys, and I just had to get my show notes set up here. I hit the button and it started scrolling. So that's another way. Like I said, cameras will have the little selfie piece on there. I'll leave that one sitting right there so you guys can see that one. I have the first camera that I used, and that is the Canon SL2. And this is another one. Now this one, I've got the same microphone as I have up there. Okay, that's the Rode Micro. It's a little microphone in there. You put that right on top of your camera. You pop your camera open. You flip your little selfie camera piece there. And I've got a quick release. And I forgot to put a little Joby piece up here. But I got a quick release for my tripod. So I can slap that right on my tripod. That will be facing me. Of course, pull your lens cap off. And boom, you just start recording. And the Canon cameras will record 30 minutes at a time. And so, same idea as this one, except for you can change your different size lenses, which is really nice. Depending on the camera, depending on where you're at, you can change your lenses on these digital cameras. DSLR camera, you set it up for automatic, you hit record, and you just start talking and go from there. So these are great to have, and you can find them online, different Canon cameras, different Sony cameras, and the prices are going down, or you can go on eBay and find some real great deals. So once again, the selfie side piece on there comes in handy. And you'll see in the Canon series, it'll be like the T7i, the T8i, the T5i, the T6i. All those have the folding out screen, okay? And that way you can see yourself and you'll be on point, so you're not filming your chest instead of your actual face. And then you get your whole video done and bada boom, bada bing, chicken wing. You don't have anything on it and you ruined your whole thing. So it's nice to have these little selfie cameras. Also with that, keep in mind, what's neat about using these cameras is you can get a dummy battery. So the dummy battery, it's shaped just like the real battery, except for you take the cord, and the rest of the cord's not on my desk right now, but you take this whole thing and you plug this in your camera, and you can use this to power your camera, and you don't have to worry about your battery dying. Really important. Make sense? So that is really good. So I'll show you one more before we close on this first tutorial, because like I said, these tutorials, it's just to get you started, to give you an idea, and I just want to throw some things at you guys first before we actually start. And so this one is, okay, Sony makes some great camcorders, and keep in mind this one's a 4K cam, but you don't have to have 4K to do your shows, because hey, a lot of people don't have 4K cameras. So with this one, I will go ahead and it has a flip screen. So you got the selfie screen and you can sit back and record that. Isn't that awesome? You can sit back, you can record that, you can see me, I'm over here talking to you folks right there. You can sit back and set this up the same way. You just flip it around, you put it on your tripod, and as you can see, I've got another quick release on this one, so it just clicks in. And you sit this right on your tripod, you fold it out, you point it at yourself, and you start talking and doing your video. Awesome. And that's a camcorder. And of course, with all these things, you can look these up online. This is the Sony AX43 4K camera. Works really good because with a camcorder, you can record for hours and you never have to worry about running out of space unless your memory card doesn't have enough space in it. So that's important. I'm filming this with the Sony A6400 that my son bought me, and I use that for the ministry, and these come in handy too, and it's really good. Another thing that I also did is I didn't do any of my lighting settings, because in one of the episodes I'm actually going to talk to you about lighting, which I will be filming here in a few minutes, and that'll be in another tutorial, of course. But I didn't add extra lighting. I just turned on one major light that I have over here to the left. Anyway, I just want to share those first few things with you about the phones, tablets, cameras, camcorders. That's a start. Getting something set up that you can use and have stationary in your own room, in your own location to get started. And don't forget, use what you have. Start with your cell phone. Cell phones, right now, the smartphones have the best cameras on them that you don't need to go the extra mile and invest. And then some people use on their laptops, you can also have webcams. And you can find many of those. In fact, here's one right here that I have. This one is the Elgato Face Cam. Okay, you just pop off this lens and you pop off this cap and boom, you're good to go. That plugs right into the computer. I use this one for doing live sometimes when I'm not using my camera. So many different options, finding the right one, and you go from there. But I just want to go ahead and close this first tutorial. I did have the major opening with it, and so most of them are going to be about 10 minutes long. But I wanted to get this one done for you guys and get it processed and put it out there. So cameras, phones, tablets, camcorders. Number one thing to remember, use what you have. Don't go crazy and go out and spend thousands of dollars. Get your feet under your ground. Start making some videos. I have over 200 videos, so that's why I have all this equipment. But if you're just starting out and you've got 1 or 2 videos out there, use your phone, but use it to the best of your ability, which we'll be talking about. So, hey, with that being said, hey, God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this one. If you have any questions, get in touch with me. Let me know what you think. Hey, God bless you guys. Hey, don't wait. create something great. Hey folks, Steve Lewis here, Relevance For Today Ministry. Once again, another tutorial helping folks tips with podcasting and producing your TV shows in an excellent quality to the best of your ability to help folks create some great content. And so I am back with another tutorial. This one we're going to talk about microphones, lavalier mics or lav mics, dynamic microphones, as well as a few other types of microphones, because that is really important as well. First and foremost, remember, of course, if you have your cell phone and you have a hard, tight budget, start off with your cell phone. You've already got built-in mics. Just find the right place to do your recordings. Sound good? So for starters, the first thing we're going to talk about is your USB microphone. Here is the Blue Yeti microphone. Okay? Great microphone. Very popular online. Many people use them. It is a variable microphone, which means you can set it to different settings right here on this dial. And basically you can set it so it comes out of one side only, where you speak into that one side. There's other times where it can be on both sides. So if you're sitting at the table with someone doing an interview, you can be speaking into one side. They can be speaking into the other, so to speak. There's one that's all the way around to get the entire room. And of course, there's the one that's just for the person speaking right in front of it. Great microphone if you just have a laptop and you just want to plug it in and get started. Okay, that's the Blue Yeti. Great little microphone. And the key thing is making sure you have good, quiet space, a good quiet space so you can record with that. Because if you don't, you're going to pick up everything. And I'll just give you an example of what's going on right now down here in the basement in my studio. The hot water heater is on. You can't hear it on one of my microphones, but you can hear it on the other one. And here's how loud it sounds. Okay, and that's because it's coming off of my Rode pod mic, which is up here. And you can feel me moving it around. Little microphone that I put on top of my cameras for, like I showed you in the last one. So see the cameras right there. You can sit there, you can point, click, shoot. You can do your podcast show right there with that flipped out, and that microphone will pick that up pretty good. So then we have a bunch of other different microphones. And of course, these microphones are called XLR microphones because it's like what they use on stage. You've got singers and stuff like that singing and doing concerts, or me in this case, using my Rode Procaster microphone. You have a cable system that's set up. And for example, I'm using the Rodecaster Pro, which is a top-end recording system. So it has sounds, all kinds of good stuff on it. And this costs a little bit of money, but it uses the XLR microphone style. And so that's why I have a lot of XLR microphones. And of course, one of my favorites is the Rode Pod mic. Okay, I love this thing, heavy duty. It also is XLR. And this style microphone was made for podcasting. So Rode, the company out of Australia, decided they wanted to make a microphone that would be great for podcasting. Reasonable price, you can get them for about $100, and it is a solid microphone. In fact, that's what I was using before I had a chance to upgrade to these, the Procaster. And so I got a great deal on these. And what I have on mine right now is a foam filter. It's like a pop filter. It just pops right on the microphone. And these pop right on here, and so you just slip it right on. And so that goes on there, and what that does, it keeps you from your popping your letter P's and your S's, okay? So that's why they call it a pop filter, because every time you say P, it kind of puts a spike in your recording, or it'll be hard on the ears for people when they're trying to listen to your show, because they'll hear the S's and the S, and it'll be a lot of this and that. So without that on there, it would definitely be a little bit of a rough listening. But with those on there, it's fantastic. So that's what these are all about when you see people singing and things like that, and they've got their mouth on and they're talking. And of course, the closer you go to the microphone, the deeper it gets, more robusto. And then also, they have these, which you've seen on some microphones as well. You just attach this to your boom arm, for example, and this is in front of your face, and it also catches the S's and the P's. So it's another way. Pop filters. That's what they're called. Pop filter and a foam filter. Okay? And once again, keep in mind, graduate up. Take your time. Don't jump out with both feet and get all these different things. Unless you're ready and you've got a budget and you want to get some good quality recording done, then hey, jump in with both feet. Write me, ask me any questions you want, and I can help you out. Another XLR microphone, see, they all have the 3 pins. This one is a lav mic. You'll see these on the news and places like that, or people will be doing interviews. They'll have them clipped on their clothing, and that's a great microphone as well. Basically, of course, that picks it up. You plug this into your recorder of some type, which I'll be talking about voice recorders next in the next tutorial. But you plug that in, you have your voice, and you don't have to have a microphone in front of you while you're talking. I personally enjoy having the microphone because I'm also doing a voice podcast with all my shows. So that's another type. So that's the lav mic. And then you have what they call a boom mic. And here is my boom mic that I need to get set up here soon. And these are fantastic. And these are what they actually use in TV shows, interviews, and things like that. This one is the Rode NTG2. I got that in a great deal on one of the marketplace sales. But these microphones are similar to the microphone I have up there, except for this is supersized and it's a lot better. But that will be pointing at me. And it'll be out of the picture, but it would look like this. That's where you're going into. Your voice picks up into there, filters it through perfectly, and goes right in through the cable system, right back to whatever you have to record with. So if you ever see shows, or you'll see interviews where a man's standing there with a big long pole, and he's walking around following someone, and he's pointing something big in their face, and it's got the big fluffies on it and things like that, that's what these are for. And it has the wind filter on it, the pop filter. It's also for breaking wind when you're out there and it's blowing really hard. It'll break the sound of the wind so you won't have the blowing all the time in your microphone and ruin your recording. So this is the shotgun mic. So you could literally be sitting here the way I'm going to have the studio set up. There'll be days I'm going to actually be filming my TV show and I won't have the headsets on and I won't have the microphone in front of me because I'll have my boom mic set up. So really neat microphone. So the key thing to remember is buy within your budget. I picked up these on Marketplace. They're over $220 each, but I was able to get them for $120 because someone had a big sale going and they gave me a great discount. And so you just take your time, have a little budget going, and you buy when you can afford. You upgrade when you can afford, but at the end of the day, it's all about giving someone, like people say about me, they'll say, Steve, you've got a buttery soft voice. Well, that's because good quality microphones. I process my recordings because I want to give you the best experience when I'm sharing the gospel about the kingdom of Jesus Christ, the kingdom here on earth. I want to give you the best quality I possibly can. So in order to do that, for me personally, I jumped in with both feet. Okay? And so that's key. And then what you'll see on here is also a way to keep your microphone from hear that banging sound. Well, this right here is a shock mount is what it's called. And it has rubber bands built into it. And it keeps your microphone from bouncing all around when you're talking on it. Okay? And sometimes you can even use a boom. A microphone stand. Like when I have a special guest on the show or my wife and I are doing a podcast, you can have that same shock mount. See how that's moving around? It's wiggling, but the microphone's not banging and slamming. This is a stand. You can get these on-stage stands right online. They're fantastic, but you can sit that on the table and you can just talk the same way and go through the same way. Shock mount, pop filter, stand, cable, XLR cable. That's what that is. It plugs into the other end right there. And so those are microphones. First thing is always keep in mind, as I've said before, use what you have. Your cell phone, your smartphone has a great microphone on it. Use that. Just make sure you're in a great location In fact, some people will actually go inside, and this is no joke, they'll film their podcast in a bedroom closet. Because of all the clothes hanging, it dampens the sound, so you don't have echo and all kinds of craziness going on. It's just nice. It dampens the sound, so when you're in a big room and you say, hey, it echoes and bounces. Your voice bounces all over the room everywhere. But when it has something to absorb your voice, boom, it'll go right into the microphone. Nice. In fact, speaking of which, here is let me set this up. So this is a recording screen, okay? So see how it has all the foam on it? So you can actually set this up in your house. Let me move this back a little bit. You can set this up, and you set that up, you put the microphone, you can attach your microphone right to there, and you could have your microphone in here, and then when you're sitting in here, it's like having a sound booth. So you would be right in here with your face, and as you can see, it'll dampen it. It'll take all the extra reverb, your voice will be bouncing, it'll just be absorbed into the cushion, and it'll give you a better sound as well. These are really neat. I picked this up on Amazon for about $39, and so this one's made by Monkey, and it is a recording screen. You just hook your stuff right up to it, and boom, just like that. See that in the video? You talk on it. Of course, it'd be facing the opposite way. For example, you would be talking, your microphone's right in there, your voice gets right in there, and you get an amazing sound from your voice. So these are really neat as well. There's just so many neat ideas you can use to get your voice all set up with your microphones. So that is the microphone tutorial. And like I said, they're quick. These are 10 minutes. It's to give you an idea of what's out there. And as the tutorials go on, I'm going to be getting more deeper in within that 10-minute limit to try to help you guys. We don't want to lose you and put you to sleep, but at the same time, we want to show you that, hey, here's the things that are out there that can help get you better quality for the shows, because it's really important. We want the shows, especially on Kingdom Community TV, especially on your podcast shows, we want it to be an experience for people where they just can't wait to listen to you. They want to hear your voice. They don't want to go, oh my gosh, this person's voice, they're killing me. I want to hear the message, but they're killing me. You know what I mean? Also, I wear my headsets because I can monitor my voice, which is really nice. It keeps me from talking way too loud. On the Rodecaster Pro, of course, I've got all kinds of knobs and settings, but at the same time, it keeps me in the zone. So when I'm focusing on a message and I'm sharing that message and I've got my show notes on my iPad and I'm just going at it, I can hear myself, what I actually sound like for real, which is neat. Okay? So we'll keep it right there. The next thing we're going to be talking about is voice recorders, which is really important. If you don't have the phone, the next step to jump up to, voice recorders. Sound good? Thanks for tuning into this episode, this tutorial. Hey, God bless you guys. Remember, don't wait. Create something great. Hey, we'll talk to you later. Any questions? Email me, slewis003@main.rr.com, or better yet, connect with me on Facebook, Stephen Lewis, Relevance For Today. You'll find me. Hey, you know what I look like? Just match the pictures. And remember, YouTube, all you have to do is type in the word. Tell them what you're looking for. You'll find out as well. Hey, God bless you guys. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another tutorial. Relevance For Today Ministry. We are doing tutorials to help the content creators, ministers, ministries alike, to help them get some good quality stuff out there, as well as teach them about the different items you can use, the different equipment. So we were going through, we've talked about camcorders, cameras, tablets, phones. We've talked about how use what you have before you go spending a whole bunch of money. We've talked about microphones, lav mics, dynamic mics, all kinds of different microphones. And so today we're going to be talking about voice recorders, because if you're filming a podcast or if you want your voice to sound better in your videos, you can actually use a voice recorder to record your voice and put it on your video. Sound good? Okay, so we're going to jump right in because there's so much I want to talk about, and we're trying to keep these within 10 minutes. And so it's easy to run over a few minutes. But as I said before, smartphones, okay? You get your smartphone, you turn that puppy on, and guess what? You can download a voice recorder app. Look at that. Bada boom, bada bing. So all you do is, you've got standard, you've got interview. This one is it just came up as being voice recorder when I went to download it. But it's free, and all you have to do is take it, sit there, you hit the record button, and there you go. It starts recording. You sit it in a location. You might even have a stand where you can take it and just clamp that right in there and have it sitting right on the desk for you. And you can make your recording that way. And when you're done, you just simply hit stop, save it, label it, and follow the instructions for whatever podcast app you have. And you might be able to go in there and edit out the sneezes, the coughs, and things like that. Just remember, when you're using your voice recorders, keep in mind, you have the power to edit them. So for example, I just sneezed. I cut it out because I had it on the video, and I cut it out of the sound as well that I'm recording through my Rodecaster Pro. But you can go in there and remember, so for example, if I'm saying some things and all of a sudden I say flashlight by accident instead of saying my big light I have over here, you just pause for a second and then repeat what you're supposed to say. Then all you have to do is go into the voice recording and edit it. You cut those two parts out, cut that one bad part out, and you can fix it just like that. So that is using your phone. Okay, and keep in mind, if you're on your phone and you're recording your video, then you're all set anyway, right? And remember, like I said before, recording is better when you turn the back of your phone to you where all your cameras are. Okay, you get better quality video off the back than you do the front. And make sure you turn that sideways so you can get the full regular view that would be on the TV show. Awesome? Sound good? And of course, yeah, that's recording my hand. Good job, Stephen. And so anyway, just keep in mind you're doing your recording, and as you can see, it's on there right now, and you go from there, do your recording, save it, edit it, and go from there. So that's the smartphone. Download a recorder app and you're good to go. So the next one I want to show you, which is one of my favorites, Zoom. And there's other people that make recorders, but Zoom makes some amazing recorders. For example, this is the Zoom H6, okay? And of course, these aren't cheap, but when you're working on doing good quality, like this one has the microphone on the end of it. Okay, see how that looks like a microphone? That's an actual microphone. You can record a group. This has the capabilities of recording 6 people at one time. Okay? So remember when I talked to you in the last episode about XLR microphone cables? Okay, that's where it has the 3-pin on the end. So that means that you can take this lavalier mic, for example, and you can plug it right in there. And then you can take the other end of that, around here somewhere, you clip that to yourself, and you can record the voice with this lavalier mic. Or the way I first set up my podcast studio, I wanted to be able to have a conversation with 4 people. So that's why I have the Zoom H6, because 4 people can be sitting down with their microphones. Then you can buy adapters that plug in here, and you could have another 2 microphones. So this comes in handy. You just put a memory card in it. Memory card's on this side. You put the memory card in, right in the slot. You pop that in. You set it up. You get everybody's voices leveled. You've got little knobs and dials on here where you can set up everybody's voice. There, see it? The Zoom H6. You can set that up. It can have different files. Everybody can have their own voice channel and so forth. And you can sit that in the middle of a table anywhere you want, and you can start recording a podcast show, which is really cool. Everybody will have their own microphone. Everybody can have their own headset, because you can get a headset amplifier. And a headset amplifier, you plug it in here, and then you plug in everybody's headsets into that amplifier, which has 4 different plugins on it. And it's a really neat device to go with that. So that is really good. And then Zoom also made the one that has two plugins. Okay, so this one, for example. So I hooked up this microphone to it, and as you can see, testing, 1, 2, 3. See how the line's moving? Check, 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 check. So I hit record on that, it'll start recording, and that can record your voice as well. And that's the Zoom H4. Okay, and I just screwed a stand into it. You can put a tripod stand onto that. You could sit that right in the middle of the table and record your podcast. You can record on the ends here as well, or you can plug in two XLR microphones, just like I did with this one. You can plug another one in here, like Caleb Daigle and I have done in the past, and we've actually recorded some great podcasts doing that as well. These voice recorders will record your voice in an amazing way. It'll come out beautifully, buttery soft, like some of my friends say. And so that's how you do that. And so those are the voice recorders. So you get on there, you record it, you take your card out of there, you take your card out of the memory slot, and you go ahead and process that right on your computer. And there's many different editing software out there for doing that. You've got Audacity. I use Adobe Audition, and there's some free that are out there as well. But you just take your voice on there, you process it, you take out all the extra garbage, you cut all the parts that you made boo-boos, and you go from there, and you've got a good quality voice podcast. And that's what you want. And if you want an example of that, because let's see, about a couple years ago, before I got the Rodecaster Pro, I was actually recording in this. So I've done podcasts on here as well, and you can find those on Apple Podcasts. Just look up Relevance For Today with Stephen Lewis, and you can listen to my voice podcast. Or if you have an Alexa, you can just say, Alexa, play Relevance For Today with Stephen Lewis, or just say, Alexa, play Relevance For Today podcast show. It'll literally start playing my episodes, and you can hear how my voice sounds. And this recorder, of course, this Rodecaster Pro, it does so much. I mean, it has sounds on it. You can play sounds coming from it. You can hear my voice there, but there's different sounds, music, you name it, you can program it in there. With this voice recorder, you can have 4 people plugged in here. You can have someone call you on the phone. You could be connected to the computer as well as Bluetooth. This has many great features on it. And of course, it's a pretty penny, but investing in the ministry, that's what I wanted to do, because it's all for the kingdom of God. And so that's what I use to record my voice on now, which is what you're hearing right now. And if I wasn't using this, then you would hear my microphone, as I've said before, up here, which goes right into my camera. And so that's a totally different sound as well. And then you might say, Steve, well, why do you have this recording and the camera recording? Well, every once in a while, there's a time where I don't hit the record button by accident, which I'll be talking to you about some good reminders. You have a blooper from time to time. The power might go out. Well, the camera is running off of battery. And what's neat about the Sony A64 camera is I can plug that right into a charger, but it also has the battery inside. So if power goes out, it will keep recording. Whereas my Rodecaster Pro will not. So very important to remember that. So that is voice recording. So I wanted to share that with you once again. The Zoom H6, the Zoom H4, using your phone, which is first and foremost. Using your phone to do voice recordings, just hit Recorder app, sit it somewhere in a nice quiet location. Like I said before, some people will record in their closet and do an amazing job. Get in a room that's too big, you'll have an echo, but get in a quiet location. You can do an amazing job. So that's voice recording. If you have any questions, let me know. You know how to get in touch. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, God bless you guys. Remember, don't wait, create something great. Be the best you can possibly be, especially when you're working for the Lord. If that's what you're doing, recording for the Lord, be the best you possibly can be within your budget. Hey, with that being said, God bless. Hey folks, Steve Lewis here, Relevance for Today Ministry. Thanks for tuning into another tutorial as we continue to talk about ways to help you podcast and produce your TV shows to get the best recording, to create something great. Hey, we're working for the Lord, so that means let's do the best we can. with what we have, of course. And of course, starting out, once again, reminding you that, hey, when in doubt, start with your smartphone. But if you are using your smartphone, find a great location to record. You don't just want to say, hey, I've got my smartphone, I'm just going to turn it on. Hey, God is good. My favorite psalm is. No, you take this phone and you get yourself a little $39 stand like this, and you put this in here, and let me tell you something. You can create something great. You pop that in there, set that up, and boom, go for it. Do your thing. Make it the best you possibly can be. Use the back side of your phone. Remember that. Use the back side of your phone with the best camera spots on it, and that way you can be the best that you possibly can be, because that's what it's all about. Give the people something amazing. So today I'm going to start off by talking about stands. So the last thing we recorded was we talked about voice recordings. Now we're going to talk about studio recording locations, timers, stands, hard drives, different things like that. Whatever I can fit in this time frame. We're trying to keep them around 10 minutes, so I'm going to get started. So for starters, studio and recording locations. I am in my basement. My friends laugh sometimes because as we talk, they're like, it's hard to believe you're producing that out of that part of your basement. We've got my clothes hanging up over there to the side. I've got my desk over there that I'm producing things on now that Barb works from home. I've got a black curtain behind me. That's a black curtain behind my sign with a shelf that I made. And my craft table became my podcast studio table / TV show table. So this is what I'm using. This is where I'm at. I covered the ceiling with a mesh type material, and I'm going for there. And some people will actually podcast in their closets. If you're just doing a podcast only, not the TV show side of it, they'll be right in their closet. Other people will go in a room and they'll treat the room. And of course, treating the room, what that means is you take foam. Okay, for example, I've got this right here to give you guys an idea. You take this foam like this. This is just Bristol board. It's just poster board. You take this poster board, you glue foam on it, and then this becomes a great way to go ahead and buffer your voice, to keep your voice from echoing and shooting all the way across the room and going all over the place. And you take these and you set them up, and your voice will turn out so much better. It's amazing. Just doing something simple as that. You can buy those foam squares for, I think you might spend $40, if that, on Amazon, and you'll get 50 of them. And you just take those and put them on the board, put them in different locations, and go from there. Some people will take their phone and go in a closet, turn the light on with their clothes closet, and just start recording a podcast, and it'll turn out amazing because I've said this before, the clothing will buffer the sound and keep the sound from bouncing off everywhere. But if you go in a big room and you try to record, you're going to get a crazy echo, and the last thing you want is echo, 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 and every time you say something, it echoes all over the place. And then your listeners are going to go, I can't handle this. Steve Lewis' voice echoes every time. His quality isn't very good. I don't want to listen to Steve Lewis anymore. So it's important that you take your time, find the right location. It could be in your car by the water, because even the water, the stream's flowing. You know, having a brook, bubbling brook in the background while you're talking on a podcast episode is very soothing, very relaxing. I've done shows before outside by the water, and you'll hear the birds and bugs, and it's so relaxing. It changes the atmosphere for your listeners, so that's really good too as well. And you can do the same thing when you're filming. Just keep in mind, when you're filming, you just want to make sure you're in a good location. Don't be in the bathroom filming with a toilet behind you and you can see the bathroom toilet and the toilet tissue. You know, find a location that's pleasing to people. Now, I choose this. My podcast is set up this way. My TV show is set up this way because I'm always telling my family that you guys are in my shows. So every show I do, you can see all my family's back there behind me. And so they're going to be back there forever because these videos are going to last forever, far beyond my lifetime. So it's neat to come up with a studio idea. Some people you might find some friends of ours, they have like a bookshelf. It's like a blanket almost with a bookshelf picture on it. And so that's what they use. Other people use green screens. Green screens are great too, and I'll give you guys some tips on that in a couple more tutorials, because I have one by, I think it's Manfrotto makes it, but it's a pull-up. So it's right behind me on the floor. All I have to do is pull it, and it stands up on its own, and then I can do green screen footage. I also have a shade that I can pull down. So I've got a shade behind me, and I'll show folks that when I do the background one as well, but it's just a big shade. And so you pull it down, and basically it gives me a different background. So where it looks like where I was before, now I'm in a different location, and you can do the same thing. Find a room, find a decent location, find some place that's pleasing, and balance it out. So you can see I've got the Relevance For Today podcast show, which is going to be the TV show sign here soon. But either way, I've got a sign hanging there. And then over here is my shelves. So the background has something decent. It doesn't distract you too bad, which back in the day it did. A couple years ago, you would have looked at my background and thought, oh my gosh, this guy needs to clean his area up. But you just take your time, find a decent location, pleasing to the eye, and you go from there. Make your colors pop, put some plants back there or something. But that's what you want to do. So keep that in mind for your studio recording location. Find a place that's pleasing to the eye. Make your show look professional. It could be one spot in the house that you pick, and you do it there, and people will go, oh wow, nice fireplace back there. Or the backyard looks beautiful. Or there's a wall decoration on the wall. But you just don't want to be in a spot that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Where it distracts the viewer. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to talk about stands real quick because I pretty much covered them before. But you can buy different stands to hold your phones, different stands to hold your cameras. Like this one's by Manfrotto, okay? This one's by Manfrotto. And basically you push the button on top and it tilts in all kinds of directions, which is really neat. And you can use that to film yourself doing a selfie for your show, or you can sit it somewhere and go from there. Okay? And of course, you've seen the microphone stands. The microphone stands that I've had in the previous shows, these are by On Stage, and they actually telescope. So they get taller. You just twist it, and it can get pretty tall. But you can put phones, cameras, and everything on there with adapters. Same thing with this one. Okay? You can actually attach that same adapter, and I had another adapter on here somewhere, but you can attach different adapters to these things. Like these right here by Framework, and they're quick release adapters. So in here, oh, here it is right here. So here's an example of one. Okay, there's an example of one, and all you do is you just push that, and it comes apart. Okay, so this will be on the stand. You come over with whatever you're attaching to it, you pull it down, it clicks on, you're good to go. So let's say, for example, my camera. You remember how I showed you the quick release? You just sit that in there, and it clicks right in. And now you've got the camera on the stand, and when you're done, you push the front, and it pops right off. And so that's how that works. So these are great stands. You can screw them on anything, and if you need to go quickly, boom, pop it off, keep going, attach it to a different stand, keep filming what you're doing. Neat? So those are stands. Here's the other stand, of course, I really like with this adapter because you can hook your phone to that. Remember how it pops right on? You just take that, spread one side, boom, there you go. You got your phone in there, you turn it sideways, and you start filming your show. So stands come in handy. They're all shapes and sizes, different adapters and things like that. So check those out as well. But remember, your recording location is very important. Set yourself up a little studio, put up some black sheets if you have to. I bought those sheets for probably $1 each, and they're big tablecloths. So I just draped them over there. I've got a bookshelf behind me. You can see the sheets. Drape it over there. Hey, keep people focused on something positive, and you just go from there. Sound good? So the next show, we're going to talk about timers. We're going to talk about hard drives. We're going to talk about memory cards. Might even talk about lights where I actually turn on the rest of my lighting in the studio so you can see it all. And we'll go from there. Hey, with that being said, hey, God bless you guys. Remember, create something great. If you have any questions, leave them in, the comment section. hey, we'll answer anything we can. Hey, with that being said, God bless. Take care of yourselves. Create something great. Don't wait. Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to another tutorial helping you get set up with podcasting and TV shows. So let's jump in. So this time we're going to be talking about timers, hard drives, memory cards, and we'll see how far we get with that. So for starters, keeping an eye on the time is very important. Whether you're using your phone, of course, if you're recording with your phone, you'll see the timer right on it. Always keeping in mind, use what you have. You have a smartphone, record your shows. Otherwise, hey, upgrade. Watch the different tutorials and you can learn so much about the different things that are out there and available to help you create something great. So, timers, you can use your phone, for example. You can use, okay, here's one of my stands. So here's one of my microphone stands without the microphone on it. It's the same as this stand right here, okay? But the reason why I'm showing you this stand is because I have a magnetic timer, okay? These are fantastic because if you don't have like your Rodecaster, which has the timer on it, and you can't see your camera, you can have one of these. Get these from Amazon, pretty cheap. Add how much time you want on it, and the cool part is it's magnetic, so you can stick that right to your stand, and when you hit start, of course, there you have it. It's counting down, and when it goes off, make sure you have your alarm set on low, and that way it will go off no problem without interrupting your show, because sometimes shows go a few seconds longer than we planned. But the cool part is my shows are normally, the regular shows, not this tutorial. We're trying to keep the tutorial around 10 minutes. But normally my show is around 30 minutes, and I found this neat hourglass, which I thought was cool, at Hobby Lobby. So now I use that and set that up on my episodes. It'll just be sitting off to the side, and that way my cool little timer can go. Just a little something neat for people to see. So keep your timer set because you want to have an idea of how long you want your shows to be, which is why it's so important to have show notes. Okay? Show notes are very important. Type up what you want to discuss, type up your verses and things like that. I use a teleprompter, which comes in handy. I have a teleprompter. I also use a teleprompter app, which comes in handy, and it's on my iPad right now, so I can literally see what I'm talking about, not to get too far ahead of myself, and to stay focused. And if I have any Bible verses and things like that, I can get the verse right the first time instead of going off the cuff, and before you know it, you're just talking people to death and you haven't discussed what you're supposed to discuss. So show notes are really important, okay? Now, back to what I'm supposed to be talking about. So hard drives, external hard drives are key when it comes to doing this. And the reason why I say that is because videos, especially videos like my Sony a6400, my 30-minute videos take up some space. So what I do is I also have external hard drives. Like this one says the Ministry Vault. Okay, so this external hard drive is 5 gigabytes, and I can plug that right into my computer. I can download the videos off of my computer and put them on these external hard drives, and then I don't have to worry about losing anything. Because if you lose that footage, you just went through a whole lot of work. And if you didn't have show notes set up, and if you didn't get any recording at all, then you missed your entire message. So that's no fun. So this hard drive is your regular basic HDD hard drive, HHD hard drive, and this one is the SSD. Okay, the SSD is a faster hard drive. This one is, I believe it's a terabyte. And so, oh yeah, these aren't gigabytes. I'm sorry, this is 5 terabytes, I think. So that's a lot of space. So 5 terabytes. So that's a lot of space. This one is 1 terabyte. And that takes up a lot of space for you. It helps out emptying space off of your computer, because when you're processing on a laptop, for example, it's nice to have these where you can transfer those files off of it, and it keeps your system nice and smooth, because the more space you take up on your computer, the less speed. You're going to lose a lot of speed. So the more freed up space you have, basically, the more your computer has to work with and operate. So it'll make your processing faster. If you're processing a TV show, then you don't have to worry about slowing down. You'll have all your other files put on, saved, and put away. And then when you're working on your new stuff, you're good to go. And these hard drives they have good prices. If you get on Amazon, or when Black Friday and things like that comes up for Christmas time, you can get these hard drives at a reasonable price. Just label them, make sure you know what's on them, put your previous episodes on them if you need to, because you can always pull those episodes out and you can record an introduction and say, hey folks, Steve Lewis here, Relevance for Today. I just want to get on and let you folks know we're going to be gone for the month, but I'm going to be replaying some episodes from 2020 that you're really going to enjoy, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this episode. Boom. And then you splice in one of your old videos that you played, which still is relevant. And then that's how you do that. So you make sure you keep your old footage. Don't rely on Facebook and places like that to keep all your information. Make sure you store it at home as well. I like keeping mine in neat little storage cases, especially for traveling. It's nice to be able to pack these up, and when you need to go traveling and things like that, you can just pack up your hard drives and you can go from there. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you folks is the SD cards. Okay, we got some SDHC cards. These are what goes in your cameras, as well as some of you may have the mini SD cards, the mini micro ones that actually go in. These are 32 gigabytes, and we've got these on sale at Amazon. But the cool part about those is this is what you use in your cameras. This is what I have to use inside of my Rode Procaster. Make sure you have plenty of SD cards, because you never want to run out of space. Also, get yourself a hard case like what I have right here. This is a nice hard case, heavy duty. This one's by B-Way. And when you open that up, there you have it. You've got all your SD cards in there. They have their own personal slots. You can pop those in and out as you need. And it's a great way to keep them all protected. As you can see, cover my face. Oops, I just dropped something. But you get the idea. You have all these slots. You just put your information in there, and boom, pull out a card. Make sure you label your cards. Very important as well. Label your cards so you'll know which one goes into the Rodecaster Pro, which one goes into the Sony a6400, and always make sure they are ready to go with lots of space on them. Personally, this guy right here has pushed record on his Sony a6400, and I'm glad I had another camera set up as well, because I didn't have enough video space. I had 10 minutes space left, and I recorded a 30-minute video and had to switch over to the other camera. So I'm glad I had a backup, but always make sure you've got some empty cards ready to use, and when you get that information off of there, make sure you delete it, process it, whatever you need to do, put it on these guys right here, and empty that card. And the last thing is the card readers. Now, they make these card readers. Okay, I just got to cover my face so you can see it. Zelda. So this one's by Zedella, and you can put your memory cards in there. It's got different slots for different items. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's got different slots for, you can put 2 different memory cards in here at once. You can plug in a couple mini micro cards. And so this gets plugged into your laptop if you don't have a slot already, so you can actually download all your information you need to download from your voice recorders, from your phones, computers, different recorders and things like that. And that's how that process works. Getting your memory cards, getting your hard drives, very important, and your timers. Sound good? So we're going to leave it with that. And we'll be discussing lights, green screens next. So, hey, thanks for tuning into this tutorial. If you have any questions, as always, hey, you know how to get in touch with us. Get in touch with me, Stephen Lewis. Hey, with that being said, hey, God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another tutorial. Hope you learned something. Don't wait. Create something great. Take care. Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to another tutorial where we're helping you with tips with podcasting and TV production. And the whole goal is to help you produce some better quality stuff. Sound good, better quality material, create something great. Hey, it's all for kingdom process here, kingdom work. We know who the boss is and we're working for him, so we want to do the best we can. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about lights and green screens. So for starters, I'm going to show you guys what my lights really look like, because I haven't had my lights fully set up for my actual shows, because I wanted you to see the difference between the two, because I've had the lights set up a different way this whole time. But my real studio lighting, I'm going to go ahead and get that turned on for you folks. For example, got my little remote here right above my head. Boom. See how that gave more light to the back there? And then I'll go ahead and get a couple other things done. Okay, so we'll do a 1, 2, 3, and click. There you go. So there's my lighting. I have a blue light set up over there, and these ones are made by IVISSII. And that's the light right there. Comes in all different shapes and sizes. I put this one on a stand, and as you can see without blinding us, there, blue. So then you get the blue lighting over there. So it gives it a different effect for the studios. So that's really cool. Depending on what color you like, there's so many different color settings on that thing. You have to have a book diagram to teach you all the different settings. But those are great for giving you a little separation. What it does is it separates the background from me. So it's kind of nice. Gives it a different vibe, gives it a warmer feeling. And so my regular lights that I have above my head normally, I just unplug those, and there you have it. This is Relevance for Today Studio. I've got a light over here shining, so it gives me some light on this side of my face, and depends on what I'm wearing. Normally I'm not wearing my hat, but hey, today's casual, comfortable during the tutorial. I've got my big light sitting right there, and that's how I roll. So that's what I'm doing with lighting. It's all about lighting yourself up just right so you're not too dark on one side. People can actually see what you're talking about. You know, it doesn't change how you look. See how that changed just by doing that, how the light changes. See that? And there's so many things. You move something the wrong way, and before you know it, let's see, just to give you an idea. Yeah, see how the lighting's all weird now? But it's nice when you actually see the person. It all depends on what you want to do for your show. For me, I want to be able to still be able to read and see everything. Some people like their lights darker, so they might not have certain things on. So they'll be sitting like this. And this looks kind of cool depending on what you're talking about. But for me, you know, and you can see my Rodecaster Pros all lit up all pretty. And if I was just talking about, you know, life in general and how things are going, it might be okay. You know, and if this was off too, then it's really dark. You know what I mean? With my candles lit back there. And I'm like, it was a dark and scary night. You know what I mean? But it all depends on what you want. But for me, with the Relevance for Today studio and doing my podcasting, and now my camera will adjust to its light. It'll get everything readjusted. But lights are very important. You want to light yourself up in a way that people will be able to enjoy watching your show as well. You don't want to be too dark. You don't want to be too light. You don't want to be sitting back trying to read what you're supposed to talk about if you've got the teleprompter on and so forth. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a couple great ideas. Of course, we have the green screen, which I'll show you right now. So that's the green screen, and the one I have is made by Elgato. And basically, it pulls up and down. And of course, I would zoom in more on the camera so you wouldn't see the backdrop or anything else, but you'd be able to see, but you would be able to see just the green screen only. So I'd zoom in the camera, or if I was using my phone, then you'd be able to zoom in even closer, for example, as you can see. So then I would take that and I would put that right there, and then move myself over a little bit and get myself just right, but you get the idea. You see the green screen behind me? You set that up just right, and with a green screen, you have to make sure you have good lighting. If you don't have good lighting, you'll disappear. 1 minute you'll be there, then your arm will start to disappear. You'll see a haze around people's body. If you have that haze, then you need to make sure you have more lighting on, shining on the actual green screen. Not you, because the more light on you is going to draw a shadow behind you. Wherever that shadow is, the green screen won't be able to reflect the right thing on it. So that's why you'll see there'll be areas in people's shows where all of a sudden their headset's missing or the side of their head starts disappearing. That's what that's all about, is making sure you have the proper light on your green screen so that the green screen will work properly. Make sense? Light it up just right, set it up properly, have your distance properly, and you'll have an amazing green screen show, and you can be anywhere in the world, right? So keep that in mind, and also get on YouTube and look up how to set up a green screen. Best lighting for green screens, because you can do it really good or it can look pretty bad. So you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So learn it, live it. That's what I did. I did a lot of studying on all these things to learn all these things. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is I picked up a shade. It's like a bamboo shade, and they were a couple dollars at yard sales. So we'll pop down the green screen and I'll pop down that, which I've got attached to the ceiling. So we'll see that here in a second, and there you have it. So that is a shade. It's just a regular bamboo shade. And so what I do is I'll take that like that, I'll zoom in a little bit more, or once again, I'll be on the phone or I'll be on the iPad, and when you turn that around, of course, there you have it. So now my background is just of the bamboo only. You see how that works? And then you adjust your light accordingly. So let me show you real quick what it'll look like if I zoom in properly. Hang on a second, okay? 1 second. So for example, so now as you can see, poof, I mean, I'm in way too far. I can see the craters on my face. But I zoomed in just to show you. So now my backdrop looks like that. It's zoomed in. Of course, I would have to adjust the height of the camera because I'm sitting way too high, or I change my seats so I'm sitting further down. But that's what it looks like with the bamboo screen. But it just gives you an idea of ideas you can use for different backdrops for your studio. Neat? Bam. So there. So now we're back. And so those are easy ideas. You know, I pulled up one, the Elgato green screen. You pull out the handle on it, you lift it up, it stays up. You push it down when you're done with it. And the same thing for the shade. I painted them, I hung them up, and all I do is pull that down when I need to use it. And I'll take my iPad and I'll record a video that way. So you just have to just be innovative, be creative, come up with ideas, make your place look good, change some things around from time to time, add new features, do whatever you want to do to keep your audience's attention while you're sharing the Word of God. Sound good? So that's lighting, that's backdrops, and that's green screens. So with that being said, hey, listen, don't wait, create something great. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Put them right in the comment section. Put them right on Facebook, Kingdom Community TV. Hey, we're trying our best to put out good quality around the world. It's all about for the glory of God. So why not do our best to do that? So you want to upgrade your stuff, you want to sort it out, make sure you check these tutorials out. I've got a couple more with some great applicable advice for you. And we're going to show you a couple more things. Sound good? Hey, God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you on the next tutorial. Hey folks, Steve Lewis here. Relevance for Today Ministry with Kingdom Community TV. Thanks for tuning in to the last part of this tutorial on podcasting and producing TV shows, where I talked about equipment and different ideas to help you kick it up a notch in your TV shows as well as in your podcast show. So I'm going to be wrapping things up by just covering a few things. First thing I want to cover is applications. basically different software and things like that that are out there. So for working on your voice recordings, a good one is Audacity. It's free. So you're looking at Audacity. If you're doing podcasting, you might want to check out some different podcast servers that can help you as well. But of course, get on YouTube and check out free voice editing software. Of course, don't forget, use your phone first and foremost. Start with what you have. You can use your phone to edit your stuff and edit your videos as well. There's different apps out there to do the same thing. Personally, for me, I use Adobe Premiere Elements to edit all my videos, and that works out really good for me. I've been doing it for quite some time now, for over 4 years, and so I really enjoy using Elements because it gets the job done. I can do all my editing, color editing, and so forth to get what I need to get done. I can splice my voice in there off of my Rodecaster Pro, and it turns out really well. So that's what I use, Adobe Premiere Elements. It's a one-time fee. You pay them once, and you have the software for life. I also pay a monthly subscription to Adobe because I use Adobe Audition for my voice editing, so I can get the podcast sound just right to match up with what the requirements are across all the podcast providers and services. And so that's what I do. I get my voice all ready, I bring it over to the video program, and I get it all set up that way. So that comes in handy. And another option too is just to film using your phone or using your webcam and film right over to StreamYard. StreamYard is an amazing piece of software. You can get on there, you can do live streaming, you can do pre-recording, and so much more. So StreamYard is a really good application online that you can use to do all this extra stuff. Even voice in. You can talk right on your microphone, right on your computer, talk right on your phone. StreamYard will do all the recording for you. You can go in there and do what you need to do that way. And of course, if it's live, there is no going back and editing the boo-boos. So, but anyway, StreamYard's another thing. So the last piece of advice I want to talk to you folks about is making sure you've got everything set up. Of course, make sure you have your Bible on hand, okay? Especially if you're doing a Christian message, make sure you have the Word. Don't forget about the Word. You know, make sure you pray with folks. Don't be afraid. You've got them online. Pray with them when you're done your shows. That's key, okay? And then, and of course, this is just Steve Lewis's advice. We've got over 200 episodes, so I guess I must have done something right, even if 10 people listened to me in the last 200 episodes. But here is something really important. If you don't take any advice from me, besides, of course, keeping God first, this is important. So what I have here is a magnetic board, okay, with my little magnet, and I've got different prep things that I start before each show. It's my pre-show checklist. For example, this one is the main one, and it says podcast show pre-checklist. So number one, memory cards are installed. So remember when I talked about that in the previous episode about make sure you've got your memory cards in your cameras, in your voice recorders. Make sure there's space on them. Very important. I'm down here in the basement, so in the wintertime, the furnace comes on. So I have to make sure the heat is turned off, because if I don't, which has happened in the past, I've been just going right at it into a show. I'm really excited. I'm on fire. And all of a sudden, boom, the heat comes on, totally just destroys all your sound. So you have to stop what you're doing and take care of the heat. So making sure the heat is off. Making sure the water pump isn't running. The water pump is literally right over here in the corner. So if the toilets are flushed or someone's running water, the next thing you know, I'll be mid-sentence and boom, that'll come on, and there's no editing that out. You have to just basically stop talking, wait until it's over. So these are key things. I'm not sure what your studio's set up like, but these are key things to keep in mind. Making sure I've got lotion on my hands, and that sounds weird for some people, but I get ashy, and then my hands will be all crusty looking white and stuff like that. So I'm sitting here producing a show, and I'm talking, and all of a sudden I'll look at the TV screen and see my reflection. I'm like, oh my gosh, my elbows I'm crusty looking, you know what I mean? Or I've got a little eye crusty in the corner, or my nose isn't clean. Those are important things. This is legit. This is like when you're doing your TV show, keep in mind, That's what they do in Hollywood and all these other places where they have the makeup artists and all those things. That's what they're for. They clean them up. They make sure they look good. They make sure their hair's done right. They make sure their clothes are clean and they don't have food spilled on their clothing. You don't have breadcrumbs in your beard. Whatever it may be, that's what this pre-checklist is all about. And just as I say right there, make sure your face is clean. Make sure you have clean clothes on. Make sure your show notes are in place. There's nothing worse than starting a recording and all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh, this is my show notes from 3 days ago. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Or you're using the teleprompter and it's from 2 days ago. So all those different things. Making sure your camera is set to video. One time I didn't have my camera set to video. I hit the button. It took a photo. I came and sat down thinking it was recording and it wasn't. So surprise. This is what helped make this list. Make sure the camera is set to video. Like I said, make sure the camera record button is pressed. Camera counter is running, making sure, just like the counter on my Rodecaster Pro over here, making sure your counters, whatever you're using to record with, whether it's your phone, make sure you physically see that counter moving, letting you know that you're recording. Okay? Pressing record on the Rodecaster Pro. I've done that too by accident. I thought I was recording and I never pushed the button. Let's see what else we got in there. Rodecaster Pro counter running. Yes. Use the clapboard. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, to synchronize your voice, I've got a clapboard here. And this is what you see in Hollywood and places like that where they open it up and they close it and it makes that sound. Well, what it does is it makes the sound on the voice recording, but it also makes the sound on the video. And when it does, that's how they know to align the two. You can align the voice with the actual video. So when you want to switch the two out, that's how that works. And you can learn more about clapboards right on YouTube or ask me in the comment section. And the other thing is, the last thing is, you start the show. And then you sit back and you know what you're going to talk about because you prayed about it and you've got your notes all ready. And you just jump in with both feet and get it started. And that's what it's all about. Don't wait. Create something great. The longer you procrastinate in doing this, the longer it will take. Take your time. Get involved in your work. If you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody. Also get Canva. C-A-N-V-A. Canva has they've got a free membership, but then you can also bump it up to the next membership, and which is really great. You've got tons of photos, tons of live videos that you can use. It's an amazing service online that you can use to help produce your videos, to give them more life. Like if you've ever watched any of my videos, you'll see that I'll actually have real people in these videos, and I'll get that from Canva. So sometimes I'm talking, and then when I talk about a Bible verse, I may say something like, you need to take the time to get into the Word daily. And when I say that, all of a sudden I'll put in a video of someone reading their Bible. And it draws the people's attention as they're watching this video. So they're not just watching Steve Lewis talking you to death. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, once again, about equipment, tips, tricks, ideas, please by all means ask me. And if you need to see how my items are working, remember, Relevance for Today TV show, it's right there on kingdomcommunity.tv. So check me out when you get a chance. Hope this really helps someone out there. Remember, you don't have to start off with $20 million. You can start off with that cell phone. And just remember, the cameras on the back, face those towards you, even though you can't see yourself on the screen. But if you get your adapter set up properly, or even if you use a mirror, you know what I mean? And you get that set up so you can see yourself, and you get yourself aligned properly, and you get yourself a stand of some type set up. Set that stand up, put that phone in there, and get started. And go from there. Sound good? Hey, with that being said, I'll say it again. Don't wait. Create something great. For the Lord. Yes. Hey, with that being said, hey, God bless you. Thanks for tuning into the tutorials. Hope that helped a lot. Leave some feedback. Would love to hear from you if it helped, or if you have any questions, or if you have some advice. Okay? Hey, God bless you guys. Take care.